Hello everybody, this is the notes for section 2.2, Honors Geometry. Analyze conditional statements. This is just basically a lesson on the language of, but mostly just mathematics in general. Just how definitions are going to be written, how statements are written, how you describe things. It's going to kind of be like an English class, sort of. Just lots of writing. It'll be fun. Okay, copy these two definitions down, please. So, the main thing is this thing called a conditional statement. It is a logical statement that has two parts, a hypothesis and a conclusion. Two things, well, three things. Conditional statement, it's got a hypothesis and a conclusion. We are going to be writing these things mostly in this thing called an if-then form. So, if we call the hypothesis just a generic letter A and the conclusion a generic letter B, the if-then format looks like this. If A, then B. All right? The hypothesis is basically what's making the conclusion happen. If this thing, the hypothesis, if that happens, then what? What's going to be forced to happen, or what's going to be forced to describe it this way? So if the hypothesis, then the conclusion. All right, and that's kind of the way you think about it. My hypothesis is driving the conclusion. The hypothesis is forcing the conclusion to happen. The hypothesis is making the conclusion happen. That's kind of your thought process for this next example. So as rewrite the statements in if-then form. So all leopards have spots. All right? You got to think, all right, what's my hypothesis? What's my conclusion? Is it an animal having spots that's forcing it to be a leopard? Or is it the other way around? Is it that the animal is a leopard, which is then making it have spots? And that's your thought process. That's what you're looking for and what you're thinking about. So, the leopard's part is our hypothesis. Having spots is the conclusion. So our statement is if. And now, before I finish writing the rest of the stuff, when you're writing these if-then statements, feel free to add some words so that it becomes a sentence. Don't just put if leopard then spots. That looks and sounds terrible. You can add some extra words in there so the sentence flows and it's an actual sentence and it makes sense. So if an animal is a leopard, then it has spots. That would be our if-then statement, or if-then format for this statement. All right, for the next statement, hockey players have summer teeth. If you're not sure what summer teeth are, well, some are here and some are there. So, is it that they have summer teeth making them hockey players, or is it that they're hockey players which causes them to have summer teeth? And again, that's your thought process. So, the hockey players part, that's our hypothesis. If they are hockey players, then having summer teeth is our conclusion. So our statement is, if a person, not H, is a hockey player, then they have summer teeth. And that's our if-then statement. Okay, statements. They are either going to be true or they are going to be false. A statement cannot be both true and false. It's kind of different than a sentence. A sentence sometimes is true, sometimes is false, depending on this and that, and all this other stuff you learn in English class. But when we're dealing with mathematics, a statement, it's either true or it is false. It cannot be both. The negation of a statement is the opposite. So if your original statement was true, the negation would be false. If the original statement was false, the negation would be true. Now, there is some notation. If we call let's just use the letter P as a statement. All right, this would be your original statement. The negation of statement P can be written as this little squiggly and then the P. This little squiggly is kind of the notation says it's the negation of it. All right, and usually what you're doing is just putting the word not somewhere in the statement, making it, if the statement was true, you put the not in there so that it makes the statement false. Or if the statement was false, you throw the not in there so now it's true. All right, and again, you can mix some words around so that it flows as a sentence. All right, I'm going to stop it here for this first video. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, so go to the second video.